Pleasant good night, one and all. Greetings to each and every one of you. Greetings to you from Dangriga. Greetings to you, those of you who are in Belize City, Corozal, PG, Barranco. We have friends and families across the nation, in the diaspora. Greetings to those of you in the diaspora, in the diaspora, Chicago, New York, Los Angeles, Florida, Mabuga near home. Greetings to each and every one. Tonight, on this episode of Dangriga Unmuted, we have two segments. We're going to start with my brother Dozie next to me, which he has been fighting a case on behalf of his son, fighting against the system, fighting against Galen University. We're going to dig into the details of this case, and after this segment, we move on to the municipal election is upon us. We move on to Team Christalyn Castillo, and her team, her members, her colleagues that are running for councillors in the upcoming municipal election. Tonight, we begin with a story that has raised serious questions about fairness, accountability, and transparency within one of Belize's institutions of higher learning. For nearly 3 years, Isaac, my brother, help me with your last name. You have a very unique last name.
Yeah.
How do you pronounce it?
It's Ifeanyichineke.
Ifeanyichineke.
Yeah,
Isaac Ifeanyichineke has,
That's right.
and his family, thank you, have been challenging the circumstances surrounding two failing grades, allegation, retaliation, procedural unfairness, and the denial of a meaningful opportunity to fully examine the evidence behind the university's decision. That's Galen's University. Their appeals have taken them from university administrators to government officials and now to the court of public opinion. This evening, we are joined by my brother Dozie. Dozie is a father of Isaac. He is the one championing this fight behind his son, along with members, team supporting this pursuit of what they believe is in the search of justice. They will share their account of these events, explain why they have refused to let this matter rest, and discuss the reforms they believe are necessary to strengthen confidence in higher education. As always, on Dangriga Unmuted, we speak the truth, we unmute the truth, we demand change. Our role is to ask difficult questions. Our role is to listen carefully and encourage thoughtful public dialogue. The views expressed tonight are those of our guests, and we recognize that these matters involve allegations that remain disputed. Our objective is to provide a respectful platform for discussion while allowing our audience to consider the issues for themselves. So tonight, once again, I have with me my brother Dozie. Dozie, he's going to be joined by Ambassador Cynthia Ellis, who will be joining us in any time now, and my brother Alex Colon. Dozie, I'm going to give you the opportunity to introduce yourself to our audience. I want you to give them a Reader's Digest, a summary of what has transpired, and then we will come back. I will give a breakdown of what you have shared with me, how we've got here, and what direction you're taking, what your hope is for the future. Dozie, the mic is yours.
On behalf of Ambassador Cynthia Ellis, Ambassador at Large for the Garifuna Nation, Mr. Alex Colon, Cultural Ambassador for Garifun, and Indigenous Leaders Network and Diaspora Representative, and my entire family, both here at home in Belize and abroad. Mr. Cyril Garcia, we are immensely grateful to you, sir, for giving us the opportunity to appear on your show. And we are also grateful to your listeners and viewers. Let me start lay a foundation by saying that Garinuk, Garinuk are the great, great, great grandchildren of Paramount Chief Joseph Chatue. Furthermore, there is a word in Garifun. And I remember as a little boy growing up here in Dangriga, my folks use it all the time. The word is anichigu. Anichigu. That word, it encompasses culture, intelligence, and wisdom. Garinogu are institution builders. Garinogu bring wisdom, experience, and knowledge to our environment. Garinogu bring wisdom and education to the world. Garinogu are the premier educators of this country. Those whom we educated are now persecuting us. As a result, we have a good alliance with the Maya people. We are proud of the Maya people for their land rights victory at the High Court. In First Timothy chapter 1 and chapter 2 and verse 9, let me just read this. First Timothy 2:9. This is what it says. But you are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, his own special people, that you may proclaim the praises of him who called you out of darkness into his marvelous light. Then, thousands of years later, on May 18th, 2001, UNESCO affirmed and confirmed what God had already said thousands of years ago by declaring the Garifuna culture as, quote unquote, masterpiece of the oral and intangible heritage of humanity, end of quote. Let it be known, this is not the Ifeanyichineke family versus Galen University. With respect to my family's issue at Galen University, there is a broader application. This issue extends beyond any one institution or individual. It is about systemic injustice toward Garifun and indigenous students at Galen University and other institutions. It raises larger national questions about equal access, cultural sensitivity, representative fairness, and justice within our educational system in this country. So I just want to lay that down.
Of course, thank you, Jose. We now have Ambassador Cynthia Ellis joining us. Let me add her to this stream. Ambassador, can you hear me? Ambassador Ellis, can you hear me? Very good. Yes, I can. So let me transmit this to our live feed. Good night to you. Absolutely. Just give me a couple seconds. All right, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, you're live. Introduce yourself to our audience. Good night, Ambassador Cynthia Ellis, Ambassador for the Garifuna Nation. Welcome to Dangriga Unmuted. This is where we unmute the truth, we demand change. Ambassador, I'd like to ask you to introduce yourself in the capacity of what you're here for tonight. why you choose to join this fight for justice.
Wonderful. I really appreciate having the opportunity to be a part of this wonderful dialogue. And as a Garifuna and Indigenous leader, I'm very compelled to be a part of the conversation, to walk the talk, because many times we just look on the side. And as a mother and a community leader and activist, I think that is very important for me to facilitate the treasures and the benefits I have gotten through education. So I would like to embrace this not so much as a fight, but as an
Ambassador,
opportunity.
could you center yourself in the frame, please? Are you there? She seemed to be freezing up. All right, we'll give her a moment um, to overcome this technical difficulty. In the meantime, I want to, good night again, folks. Good night to each and every one of you. Mabugane Hong Sung Mut. Greetings. Tonight, I want to ask, as the individual being the host of this, okay, we lost her, she'll be back. Being the host of this show, my hope tonight is to call a spade a spade. Dangriga Unmuted is for all who are interested in seeking truth, um, who are interested in collecting accurate information, challenge what is being said. While my brother Doze is here as a Garifuna father, while my brother is here as an individual who feels as if though that he, as a father, his son, as a young Garifuna child, is being taken advantage of is being mistreated, treated unfairly. I want to ask each and every one of you tuned in tonight, be it Garifuna, be it Creole, be it Hispanic, to ask you to listen attentively to what is being said. Weigh the matter for yourself. Let's not jump on the bandwagon of I'm with him because he's XYZ, but I am with him because this is wrong. So, Dose, while we wait for Ambassador, okay, she's back. Let me bring you back on, Ambassador Ellis. Can you hear me?
As I
All
take
right,
hold of technology.
you're live again. No
Okay.
worries, it happens. Take your time. So you were saying, go ahead.
Yes, I was saying that as a mother, as a parent, as an educator, I feel the responsibility, having been part of this Garifuna nation who are the pioneers of education in this country and certainly in the world as outstanding people, that we cannot be silent, so it's a bigger issue for us than a student and a university and institution, but the fact that contextually we are the ones who basically educated the nation of Belize at great expense to our community. We left our communities and went into remote villages, and it's not just so much a matter of focusing on a student or a child, but any Belizean has the right to be heard and to be put in a space to be able to go through due process. So we're looking at systems and institutions from time immemorial that come into our country and go unchecked. So that's one of the reasons why I believe that I must walk the talk and be by the side of my fellow human, because we have been acclaimed as masterpiece culture for humanity by UNESCO, not just for Garifuna, not just for Belize, but for the world. And so I want us to step up to that plate, that we are not looking at ourselves as victims, but just how can we move forward and lead contextually in educating ourselves and the nation about this kind of situation.
Thank you, Ambassador. I want to, okay, we have Brother Colon. He has joined the live. So let me bring him on, and then we're going to continue this discussion.
Now, I would really like those questions that you sent. Really.
Good evening, Brother Colon. Good evening. Can you hear me? Good evening. I can see you. I have visual. I can also hear you, but I need to know that you can hear me before I transmit this online. Good evening, Brother Colon. Yes, good evening. Is Brother Colon available? Okay, ma'am. Yes, good evening. I'm expecting. Are we expecting Brother Colon? I have a different. Do you want to? Could you tell me your name, ma'am, please? Unless you send the link to the wrong person. We are expecting Brother Alex Colon. Is he with you? Brother Colon, good evening. All right, let's proceed with Ambassador. They're having some technical difficulties on their end. So what I'll do, Doze and Ambassador, I want to go to the genesis of this situation. Ambassador, I want to ask you, what do you know about this situation? What do you think the problem is? What do you think the solution should be? Let's start. Timeline of events, September 2021. Isaac enrolled at Galen University to pursue a bachelor's degree in accounting. April 2023, he receives an F in account 311 from Mrs. Joanna Usher. Is that correct?
Well, we end up so much. Yeah, let me just give the timeline of what you said. No. Yes, indeed. Up until September, he started 2021, and at the end of the first year, he received an F from a particular faculty member. No.
Mhm.
We successfully appealed that. Successfully, we were able to appeal the first F. And at that hearing, the provost, who also chaired that hearing, acknowledged the infraction that had occurred. She made an apology to us, and we were encouraged to continue, and we did so in good faith. We proceeded. We registered for the second year, and then at the end of his last year, when he received his grade report, it was only to discover that he had been awarded a second F by the same lecturer for accounting 412. As a result of that, we again exercising our right, we filed a second appeal. This time around, our second appeal was outright dismissed. Outright dismissed the second appeal, and we reached out. We went through certain and different channels, only to have, as it were, the door slammed in our faces. And so we ended up all the way, like you said earlier, we ended up reaching out to Mayor Robert Mariano in his office. That was May 5th, 2026, the 5th of May, 2026. And at that meeting, we decided to approach the mayor for the simple fact that we are Dangrigans, we are citizens of this community, and he is our mayor, duly elected mayor, and his councillors. And so we decided appropriate to approach him in that meeting and to bring the matter to his attention. And he listened keenly, and he expressed the hope that this matter can be resolved in our favor. And at that meeting, I requested, and permission and was granted, we requested for him to connect us with with Honorable Ramon Cervantes, Minister of State in the Ministry of Education. And so we met with him the following Monday, which was the 11th of May, 2026. And up until I am sitting in front of you, we are still awaiting progress in that regard. But we continue to move forward, right? We continue to move forward. Yeah. So that's where we are basically at this point in time.
Ambassador?
Yes, well put. And the power of this conversation is that community leaders and community, not just from Dangriga and Garifuna, but many people who may have gone through this kind of suffering in silence, appreciate the fact that there's a boldness to present the issue in a space, a community space. We called for a press conference and also a town hall meeting where there was unanimous support from key community leaders. We have desisted so far from doing placards and demonstrations and that nature of mobilizing. So it is very important that this is contextual, this is systemic, and it just happens to be education at this time. But Garifuna, indigenous, have suffered, have been denied certain recognition, value, respect, and honor in many areas of development in this country, economically, healthcare, infrastructurally, and so on. And it has absolutely nothing to which political party is in or out. It has to do with the fact that for too long, we have remained silent in these kinds of abuses that have taken place to our people. So the issue is more important in terms of accountability to our community and to our people anywhere in this country and anywhere in the world. So we thank the institution for giving us this gift to present concerns that we stay too silent about. And it is an opportunity to create a space for dialogue and to use every means necessary, respectfully, to pursue a hearing of some sort.
Thank you, Ambassador. Dozie, you said this is not about an F. What exactly is this fight about?
All right. That's a very good question. I say that this undertaking that we're on, no? This undertaking has been going on for about 2.5 years now, right? Uh, I'm just saying that what we are doing is that we are seeking a constructive resolution to this matter. That's what we are about. But I really appreciate your question. This is a very brilliant question, in my humble opinion. But I want to point out at the same time, and I want to ask, for the sake of your listeners and viewers, right? I'm going to ask you to kindly follow along with me as I answer this question, because it's a very profound question that requires a profound answer. I'm saying that we're saying this is a moral and a spiritual matter at its core. When you sit, if you're, for anyone who is privy to the details of this issue, that what happened to our son Galen University, it strikes at the very heart of who it strikes at the very heart of who God says each person is. Very important. For example, in Genesis chapter 1 and verse 27, just follow with me. So, right, this is what it says. It says, so God created man in his own image. Stop right there. I'm going to stop right there. What this points out is that each person is the image bearer of God. That's what that says. And that each one of us, listen to this, each one of us has been endowed by God with inalienable dignity, worth, and value. Therefore, when you are not talking to our listeners and viewers, not you literally, but when you take another person's life or you mistreat him or her with absolutely no justification, you destroy the very image of God. That's what goes on. And I'm saying that God takes it personal when you destroy his image. In other words, what I'm saying here in a nutshell, that God is very passionate about justice. He really is. By his very nature, he is a just God. So that's one thing that needs to be made clear. A second thing is that when you look at the this thing has various layers of impact on my son. You talk about 2.5 years have lapsed. Within that 2.5 years, he should have been doing his PhD degree at this point. What I'm saying, that something like this has set my baby back, right? In terms of advancement, in terms of academic opportunities.
Pardon me, Dozie. I want the audience to get an ABC of what has happened, what's transpiring, and then give me the details. What's happening here? Isaac is getting F in class. This is by a particular certain teacher who has had history of doing that same thing. Am I correct by saying that?
It is alleged.
Okay, it is alleged that this is a practice. And is this to just anybody, or is this to a certain group of people that this teacher is doing this to?
Yeah.
So just give me the Reader's Digest and then break it down so the audience could understand.
Well, to what I can say immediately to that is this, right? That our son, and notice I use the word our son, because he's the son of every man walking the face of the earth. But let's contextualize it here in Dangriga. He's our son. The way how we were raised, Garifuna people here, that we were the sons of every male in this community. They would refer to the children as Nisan, right? So I'm just saying that our son's case is not isolated. I am saying that his situation is that it is for us Garifuna and indigenous peoples. We all have the similar experiences. I'm saying that my son's case is not isolated. The thing is that there are several other students, both Garifun, indigenous, who have the similar thing like it. But the thing is that they are afraid to come forward to speak out, and they're afraid because of, among other things, to be for they're fear they're petrified of or afraid of stigma, retaliation, and being excluded, right? So his is it's not unique. I need to emphasize it's not unique, but just that, and this is one of the things that I really like, and I admire him for having the courage and the boldness to stand up and to speak out. Ambassador, I don't know if you would like to add on to that.
Definitely. I had a beautiful experience in the bank today, of all places, where I met a musician. They travel all over the world. Belize uses the Garifuna to showcase Belize, you know? And the fact of the matter is that when these musicians go out and represent Belize, they come back with little or nothing. They get very little economic remuneration. So even though we laud people like Ande Palacio, Paul Nabor, we have a long list of them, not just Garifuna, but certainly other groups like Lila Vernon and so on, right? And when you look at the way in which we are honored or remunerated, it's pathetic, it's sad. I have visited Andy Palazzo's gravesite recently, and it's an embarrassment to me the way how we are treated. However, the reason why we are in this media space is because the responsibility is for us as Garifuna leadership to express and to articulate and break this cycle of dishonor in all walks of life. There is, for example, happening archaeologist symposium in San Ignacio right here, and the pioneer, the first archaeologist of Belize, Dr. Joseph Palacio, has not been properly honored. And if anybody wants to have details about that, I am able to articulate it. We're not even going to discuss Harriet Topsy. It's just a peripheral acknowledgement. I want to focus on Dr. Joseph Palacio because he is the one among many other leadership who have given their blood, sweat, and tears to this country have not been properly acknowledged. And Joe Palacio, Dr. Palacio, who is an educator for this country, should be embraced by us and not only by the world. So,
Ambassador, I just in the interest of time, only because we have two segments tonight, I want the audience to understand what's happening, why we are here. I want them to understand the injustice based on your allegations and why we're here, what's the plan, what have we been doing, what should we expect in the upcoming months, years.
Okay.
excellent question, because this is an opportunity for us long overdue to truly educate our nation. And we have sought legal counsel. We are not talking off the top of our heads. I, for example, I'm a representative of a working group of nations where this is something that is serious in terms of indigenous people having been ignored. So the significance of it is a gift that you are giving us as well to educate ourselves of facts that our governments and our people have signed up to in terms of the rights of indigenous people, particularly Garifuna. We know as a fact, I know as a fact, that the Honorable Louis Zabane, who is the area representative of this area, was also the Minister of Education, State, and he's well aware of why a young Garifuna man would be vulnerable in institutions like this. And he himself, we are thankful, knowing this, had made an effort by bringing young men and women from Dangriga because he knew the extent to which they're at a disadvantage in working through these different organizations. That is why it is an education process, because things like this become hidden and pushed under the table because they are powerful um, opportunities to break a cycle of abuse of our people. There's a trusting, there's a belief that because we don't have certain economic resources, economic power, it is thought that we are unable to navigate these systems. So
Um,
go ahead.
for those who are tuned in, who have absolutely no knowledge of what's happening here, what do we tell them in 1 minute? I want to paint a picture. I want to paint a clear picture as to why we're here.
Okay.
For those tuning in tonight, they're confused. They want to know what's happening. What's happening here?
Okay.
In very short terms, right? Summarize, why are we here? What are we doing about it? What is our expectation?
Could I, for the benefit of our listeners and audience, may I ask you to kindly uh, post up our son's transcripts
Sure.
for our listening audience? And while you are doing that, let me state the following facts, following truth, while you allow our listeners and viewers to watch his transcript. And bear in mind, Mr. Isaac Ifeanyichineke has been a stellar student from primary school all the way to sixth form. He was a valedictorian. And when he got to the university, he continued to do very well, excel in grades, kept that excellence. And he got along, with all the other lecturers except this one particular individual. We are saying that our institutions, with regards to this one, our institutions must continue to strive to ensure that every student, man, regardless of ethnicity, social background, right? And wherever he or she comes from, you understand, must be treated with dignity, fairness, and respect. That's what we're saying here.
Okay.
We're saying that an infraction occurred. And we are about to follow on what Ambassador said. We are about educating, right? We are seeking seeking a constructive resolution to what has happened. Another point to add on to that is that Belize must continue to build institutions, right? That protect fairness, uphold accountability, and ensure that no student, regardless of ethnicity, feels voiceless or disadvantaged because of who he is or who she is and who his parents is and so forth. That's what we are saying, right? That is what we are about, right? So I hope I'm answering your question, sir.
So he's a studious individual, a student,
Right.
very smart. How old is your son?
He's 23.
He's 23 years old.
Right.
Very smart, very studious. His grades, let me put this up on the screen here. I'm not sure if you want to reference, you want to talk about it.
Just so that they can see it for themselves.
So
We're
these are
presenting
his
evidence.
grades. So you're here simply because you believe that there's a particular teacher. Are we allowed to call this teacher name?
No.
We're not allowed. Why is that?
Let's keep it professional.
Galen University, there's a teacher at Galen University who deliberately, according to what you're saying, insists on giving this child a grade or grades that he doesn't deserve.
Right.
He's getting F instead of a passing grade. You firmly believe that he deserves passing grades. Why is this happening? Is there proof for this? Has this been challenged?
And I want to say too that, again, this is not about one student, right? There are other students who have confided in my son. Well, back to the point that what I said earlier, they are afraid And my heart goes out to those students. I feel sorry for them, but they are afraid to stand up and to speak out. And ever since we decided to let the community know what has happened, please listen to for the benefit of our listeners and viewers. There are several parents, listen to this, there are several parents who have come to me in secret, in private, and allege, that's a key word, allege that while this same individual, the same lecturer, was teaching at Ecumenical High School, these parents are alleging that this particular same lecturer failed their children as well. So this is, and like I said, what is happening to my son is happening every day, even as you and I sitting, as I'm sitting in your studio. It affects Maya, Garfna student. There's several. This is not happening just today, no. This has been happening ever since.
What's the result of your meetings or interactions with the Minister Cervantes?
Well, I have to, again, I'm here to just state the facts that the meeting that we had with Honorable Ramon Cervantes, Minister of State and the Minister of Education, in his office in Belmopan, the mayor was present at that meeting as well. That we consider that meeting a very important start, first and foremost, right? First and foremost. We, after that meeting with him, we requested a follow-up meeting with him. Up until my sitting in front of you in your space, we are still awaiting for that meeting to materialize. We keep the door open for Honorable Ramon Cervantes, for him to decide when he decides to come in. We are prepared to sit with him. In the meantime, we are going according to our schedules. There are things that we are doing. We are moving forward.
So you guys have filed a complaint. What's the response from the university? What's the response from the Ministry of Education?
Well, we are at a point in time right now that we sent Honorable Ramon Cervantes an official letter. In that letter, we explicitly asked the honorable gentleman for the Ministry of Education to intervene and to launch an investigation into Galen University with respect to this case. We are still awaiting a response from Honorable Ramon Cervantes and the Ministry of Education of Belize. We're very hopeful that even with our appearing on your show, Mr. Garcia, Cyril Garcia, that there would be a positive response to us.
What type of response are you expecting? What do you want?
Well, to reiterate that for this matter to be resolved, we are hopeful that we will achieve a constructive resolution to this matter.
What does that resolution look like in your mind?
For him to be given a passing grade. And I like that you asked a question because for the benefit of our listeners and viewers, when we attended that first hearing, the first appeal, the first and only appeal, that was held on September 5th, 2023. I will never forget that date because that's my wife's now deceased birthday. When that first F was overturned by the provost, what she did was that she set a precedence. Important to point it out. Mm-hmm. She set a precedence. And like I said, she acknowledged that there was an infraction. She apologized and full night, blah, blah, blah. And then it reoccurred. So we are saying that a precedent has been set or was set. So we're expecting the Ministry of Education, as we have requested in a written letter signed by my son, for the Ministry of Education to intervene into this matter and to launch an investigation into this case.
If they refuse to look into this matter, if they refuse to launch an investigation and to make any slight attempt to bring justice to your son Isaac, what's the next step?
Ambassador, would you like to comment on that, ma'am?
I think we lost.
Definitely,
Oh, okay, she's back.
definitely, definitely. That's why we started off by presencing the fact that there's a context, there's an international context, you know. Our country goes all over the world signing all kinds of decrees on human rights and so on. And so, what you're experiencing in this presentation is that we are exhausting, you hear the word, exhausting all
Oh,
avenues that are available.
that's right.
We don't want to, like our indigenous brothers and sisters who went to the Caribbean Court of Justice doing placards or whatever. We are not going that way. We are exploring every single opportunity, and we have been advised by attorneys locally and internationally to guide us not to go through the litigation route as the first way. So we are exploring ways in which we can dialogue. Precedents has been set. We'd like the precedents to be repeated, to have a space for a listening from the parties, and then we move forward and close that case. But there has been total disrespect, no response, no answer to emails, no answer to phone calls. So we are encouraged that the present Minister of State is willing to consider facilitating us meaning the community, in dialoguing about this situation.
You say there has been disrespect. There has been, Khalid, you've been ignored, pretty much.
Yes,
Yes?
yes, yes,
You've been ignored. I want to add this. Jerry has been fighting for redistricting for so long. Before the start of 2025, Jerry has been writing, filing complaints. He has one of the just a superpower attorney, so to speak, high power attorney. He has been making great strides. We see in the news how they manipulate the law, how they manipulate the constitution and do whatever it is that they want. Now, I am saying this because with Jerry's, with the ammunition that Jerry has, this government still dance around, um, even want to put charges on Jerry. He had a big win the other day. Why why do you think, and I'm asking this in with the purest of heart, in sincerity, why do you believe that they will give you any attention? Why do you believe that they will give you ear again with the intention to do something about this situation? Why do you believe that? Or do you really believe that? And why do you believe that? Any of you, Miss Ambassador
yes.
or Brother
I
Dozie?
truly believe that, because I'm a child of Chatouillet and Baroda, who, with what was perceived as limited opportunities and strength, brought us here across. We are here in Central America, and we are living miracles. So I believe in Garifuna Duo that goes beyond colonial structures and systems that we are trying to navigate with. So I'm thankful for that question, because that question gets to the crux of the matter, the need for us to articulate our sense of strength and identity. Who we are doesn't depend on any colonial system. In fact, we are in the reaffirmation of who we are as a people who has been declared as a masterpiece culture for humanity. There's a reason why that was done. And I'm sure, I'm certain, as you are called king, I'm proud of you referring to yourself as a king, because indeed you are. I believe that as we go back to the essence of who we are as Garifuna people, to stop being distracted by these structures and these institutions as a be all, then we are going to move forward in a powerful and positive way. We have
Um,
forgotten who we are.
Ambassador, it is always refreshing listening to you speak. You speak with passion, you speak with wisdom, you speak with compunction, with confidence. Very admirable. But what fight have the Garifuna fought and win of late? What fight, apart from Euromay, what have we fight or fought for and gotten result? Commerce bite has been pretty much taken away. We don't have citrus, we don't have banana, we have no industry. We have to pick up scraps for bill with Tongpia. We have a development that we have no say in. We are in disarray. The Garifuna, I am saying this because we could try to give this impression that we're coming together, or we could bark as loud as we want, but we have absolutely no bite. I have not seen that, not of late. I'm not saying this because I've lost hope. I'm saying this because it should appeal to each and every one of us that if we are serious about change, demanding change from the people that we say we have educated, we contribute to this nation. Now, I'm here as an individual. Yes, I'm a proud Garifuna. However, this fight has to go beyond Garifuna. We have land where we can't even claim. So I ask again, with all this taking place, we see what's happening in the news with Jerry Enriquez. We see what's happening with NGC. We can't even get a simple demarcation right of Silkgrass and Hopkins, and it goes on and on and on. What makes us think that this tyrannical government will bend for one Garifuna child? I ask that. Kindly hold for a bit. Let me read the comments, and then I will be back with you, and we'll have to close up. I'm definitely going to invite you to come back on again. I know 1 hour is short. Right. Brother Eric Castillo, is there a policy at Galen where the student grade their teachers? That's a good inquiry. Blessed evening, Aaron Anderson, Domingo Valerio. Every institute use an abacus for the institute and the students to keep informed of their grades. Doze's son should have all. There is more, but I'm not seeing the rest of the comments. So let's go to Gloria Sabal. Any disclosure on the second F? What Isaac grades look like to warrant another F? So remember that question. I'll give you another 2 minutes. I'm supposed to sign up at 9 to bring on the next group. Next comment, let me go to Hams Flores. Should he not have went to the Ministry of Education with evidence? Gloria, again, education minister should do something urgently. Time is going. Good night. Good night, Gloria. Miss Joyce Cayetano, good night. Good night to you, my dear sister. Derek Martinez, just tune in. What the name of the institution? That's Galen University. All right. So real quick, 2 more minutes, and then we go to the next crew. Dozy, you want to chime in? Ambassador, maybe after Dozy, you chime in.
Okay. Well, again, I want to thank you, Mr. Garcia, Cyril Garcia, for this opportunity. Thank our listeners and viewers for having us in your space, and I agree with you. Due to the nature of this case, we indeed we accept the invitation to come back, right? But again, we are reaching out to our community, right? Because this one of the things we are asking Honorable Ramon Cervantes, if and or when he would respond to us, we're asking him to come and to meet us here in Dangriga. So that, because this is a communal, we are taking a communal approach to this matter, and so we're looking. We remain hopeful that that he will do the right thing, and that he will intervene. The ministry will intervene. We will sit down and we'll find a constructive solution to this matter. I'm very hopeful of that.
Thank you, my brother. Ambassador?
Yes, I would like to continue to dialogue with you, brother, and to embrace you and to show you the details of the hope and the fuel and the fire that guides us in this movement.
Right.
Clearly, you are not informed about many things that have been accomplished by our people. It doesn't take 100 and or 1,000 people to get things done. There are many positive things, there are breakthroughs, and I just want to conclude by saying the fact that we have Balisao, which is a journey in itself, came from us being at Rome and speaking to Prime Minister Ralph Gonsalves. That, in essence, is one accomplishment that comes from us who went on the pilgrimage to Rome. So let us continue to dialogue. Let us continue to be the catalyst. I am a catalyst. I've been called by the ancestors to speak to these issues, and I will be obedient. I trust in God. I trust in our ancestors. We walk by faith. We walk by sight, not by sight, and it's not just one individual. It's all of us around the world that will break this cycle. Really thank you for this space and this opportunity, which is part of the transformation for which you seek. Sereme Niembu.
Ambassador Bandi Sereme, thank you. My brother Dozie, I appreciate you. Friends, family, this is the first segment of Dangriga Unmuted for tonight. I'm getting ready to bring on the other guest, Team Christalyn for Mayoral election. Christalyn is joining us with her aspiring councillors. So let me bring them on and we will be right back. See you guys in just a bit.
Good about this. Really positive. I feel the positive energy. First, at the beginning, right? So the podcast, yeah, this thing is very so.
Okay. Maybe if the light is behind you, Mr. Laurie, turn the next way. Not sure if you're able to do that.
That better? Thanks.
Yes, that's it. Mm, okay.
Folks, friends, family, greetings. Good night to each and every one of you. Once again, this is another episode of Dangriga Unmuted, where we unmute the truth, we demand change. This is the second segment for tonight, July 1st, first day of July 2026. Mayoral election is upon us. Christalyn joined us a couple of weeks ago. When she first joined us, Christalyn, it was more about how capable you are. Are you ready? Can you really handle this job? Moving forward, now we're looking at a plan that you have put in place. Last time you were welcomed here, you came with one of your aspiring counselors, Mr. Marin. Tonight you have 3 or 4. Is it 4 total?
It's four of us total. One
Four.
mayoral candidate, which is myself, and then 3 councillor candidates.
Right, and you have a full slate. I noticed. Let me just put this up on the screen so the viewers can see. So, family and friends, once again, good night. Greetings to each and every one of you. I want to welcome you wherever you're signing on from. We have a lot of people from all over the country, all over the nation, who said that they tune into Dangriga Unmuted. And so I want to acknowledge all of you guys. In just a bit, I will check out the comments and acknowledge you guys. Now, we're diving deep into politics on this last segment. Local elections are not won by speeches alone. They are won by vision, preparation, integrity, and the strength of the team standing behind the leader. A few weeks ago, we welcomed Christalyn Castillo to this platform. Much of that conversation centered on her personality, her leadership, her readiness, and whether she had what it takes to serve as the next mayor of Dangriga. And now we fast forward to tonight. For the first time, we're going to be joined by three more of Christalyn's counselors, aspiring counselors, men and women. She hopes will serve alongside her as the next town council administrators, so to speak. So good night to each and every one of you. Tonight, we invite all our guests to move beyond slogans and tell us exactly how they intend to make Dangriga cleaner, how they intend to make Dangriga safer, and how they intend to make Dangriga more prosperous. Christalyn, good night to you once more. Because there are more out there who are starting to learn of what is taking place in Dangriga concerning the 2027 mayoral election. I want you to give a reader's digest of who you are and what brought you to this place for our audience.
My name is Christalyn Castillo. Some of you may know me from wearing different hats, one of which is the permanent pageantry. But tonight I sit before you because I wear Dangriga on my sleeve and I carry Dangriga in my heart. Dangriga has always been my home, and for quite some time I have been wondering what is it to grow in a place and still wonder if I am able to grow in this place. Dangriga has potential. We have people, we have resources, but for some reason we're not able to bridge the gap from what we have to what our potential is lying. And so observing this, seeing this, and noticing that many of our young people shy away from politics because I don't want to be involved. And we notice that there's a continuous trend of I don't want to be involved, and then we elect a certain group of people to run the town, and then we get back the same results. And so instead of complaining and not trying to make solutions to things that I'm complaining about, I decided let's step in the race and see what is behind the face, what is the groundwork that needs to get done, and what will it take to get Dangriga from where it is to where it should be. I must apologize for Mr. Laurie. He should have been here. He's trying to enter, experiencing technical difficulties. We will be keeping an eye out for him to see if he can rejoin us. I also need to make mention as to why the other people on my slate can't join. Mr. Sabal really wanted to be with us, but he's out of the country. Keanna, our heart goes out to Keanna. She had a death in the family and she's currently preparing for the burial of her cousin in Belize City. And Kiesha is taking online classes, and it happens to clash with the show tonight. I'm hopeful that at some point these ladies and Mr. John Sabal will be able to join us, and we could hear their perspective and why they decided to take up this mantle. But for me, Dangriga is home, and let's get Dangriga to where it should be, and let's work together to bring Dangriga on the map because we have potential and we can do it.
Christalyn, thank you. First and foremost, I have to give you credit. I always try to state where I stand in whatever department, whatever era, whatever arena I maneuver in. I have made it public. Many have criticized, and not the politics, their sentiment as to how they feel about Team Christalyn, how they feel about Team Dwayne. Somewhat separate from this, I have to give you credit because I have made it known publicly. I say, I don't think you can handle the job. I really don't think you're ready. So for you to really decide that you are come back on this show and you are face whatever it is that Cyril Uruwe brings, I salute you. I salute you. That's admirable. Now, with that said, your party, especially locally, still seems to be scrambling, not quite solid. Or I should ask you, how do you feel about the unity of your party and the readiness of your party moving into the 2027 mayoral elections?
Like any other organization, entity, family, if I should say, there are things that not every single person would agree on. And where there's no, how to say, perfect place or no perfect thing. And so I strongly believe that behind hurdles and behind limitation lies something beautiful. And it is how well we maneuver these issues and these problems will determine how strong our team is. And I do believe our team is strong. And so I always frame it to people, because thank you for asking those questions. And they have been very brave people on the campaign trail that also pose that question. And my response to that is democracy is not division. Democracy is actually having the people of Dangriga choose who they want to represent them in the next election, and who will face the PUPs, right? And so a lot of times there are candidates that are endorsed. They're saying, here, this is the person we believe that is capable of running the tongue, and we have no say in that. Now Dangriga is in a unique position where we can choose. And I'm hoping, I'm praying, and I'm confident that the people of Dangriga is going to choose Team Christalyn. But even if that's not the case, the bigger picture remains. Let's put Dangriga on the map, and let's bring Dangriga to where it should be. And it is something we could do if, after all is said and done, we're able to join forces and do what it is the people of Dangriga absolutely want and need, because they're vocal about it. They're vocal about what they want, and they're vocal about what they stand for. And if we listen first and act fast, we will get to the point where we should be.
I'm going to go to the comments, but while I do this, this is more to buy Laurie some time. What I suggest you do, send the link to another member of one of the other counselors so we could bring them on, because it doesn't seem like Laurie is coming on anytime soon. So let me quickly go to the comment, and then we will come back. Respect to that, indeed, I'm assuming you're Aaron Anderson. That question. Two questions. What professional success do you have that the people can trust in to lead the town? Actual professional success. That's one. Let me just go down the questions before you give a response. Even more important, how while if UDP wins, they'll be out of central government. Keep that in mind as well. That's a concern of mine. Bro, your sound went very low. Is that true for everyone? I'm assuming that you guys can hear me. I'm getting good audio feedback on my end. Let me proceed with the comments. Okay, we have another member that just joined in. So let me go to the comments, and then I'll bring on this individual. Miss Joyce, keep the fire burning. Justice delay. Okay, this is from the last show. Let me bring on, who do we have? Is it Laurie? Okay, we have Stitch. Mr. Gary Stitch. While he is joining, let's go to Aaron Anderson's question. That's important. I would like to know the answer to that question as well. What professional experience or success have you had?
So for 3 years, I have been working in Belmopan, and this is where I knew that I needed to come back to Dangriga. I went out of Dangriga for 3 years. I was working at Transparent BPO, working with international transparent BPOs in the Philippines, in Jamaica, and I was responsible for taking care of over 1,500 employees in both Belmopan and in Belize City. My sole purpose at Transfer. Well, not my sole purpose, but one of the main reasons for me to be there, I was the engagement specialist. It was to motivate the team, the employees, the call agents to want to come to work. So whenever there's a public and bank holiday, whenever there's 19th and everybody was just flood corner Dangriga, Christmas and New Year's, we had to sit and think of a comprehensive plan as to what we are going to do to motivate these employees to show up to work. Because on a public and bank holiday, if you're absent, you can't be punished. That's the law. So we had to find unique ways to want them to come to work. And so not only brainstorm these plans, but carefully, meticulously planning these events, executing these events, and ensuring that every single cent that was spent, sorry, I have my laptop here, so I'll be glancing over from time to time. From every single cent is managed properly, is spent properly, and that all the employees felt the love. And so that was outside of my personal, what I'm doing now, but just taking care of 1,500 people in different areas in Dongpan, Belize City, and also working along with agents in Philippines and in Jamaica was a huge task. And then when it comes to managing what I'm doing now, I'm now the operations and logistics manager for 3 of the businesses at JNN's Culture Kitchen. So we're running the cafeteria at Ecumenical, which have almost close to 1,000 people that we cater to every single day. I'm also the logistics and operations manager for the restaurant and then the terminal. So having to balance work with employees, seeing how we are able to solve problems and manage the staff, whether that's writing schedule, doing payroll, all the things, and as well as ensuring that everything is there to run the day smoothly. And it is very important to mention as well that throughout the COVID, when a lot of business was closing down and was forced to close their doors due to economic limitations. And also, it's no secret that we're UDP and, we were under the opposing government. And we all know what happens when we get under the opposing government. We had to find unique ways how to survive the blue wave, the COVID pandemic, the economic crisis, and there is where the managerial skills came in, the money management, all things that needs the leader of this town need to push Dangriga to another level. So 33 years, well, I'm not 33 as yet, but ever since I knew myself, I was managing these family business and helping, being integral part of the success, managing storms, overcoming challenges, limitations, putting on our thinking caps and making sure that by any means necessary, money make, because as an entrepreneur, if your door closed, you don't eat. It's not like you go to an 8 to 5 and whether you make money or not, you get to pay. If you don't make money, then you don't survive. So these are what I bring to the table. Here is where I found myself, my strength, and these are the skills that I have developed that will be needed in the leadership of the council.
Thank you, Christalyn. Let's move on to my brother Stitch. Greetings, Gary Stitch, the famous Stitch. You see, I have to say this as I bring on Stitch, right? Oftentimes people get into politics because they're popular. I'm not too begin at the UDP and the PUP thing, but hats off to Stitch. I respect you, my brother, but I want you to give you the opportunity to introduce yourself to our audience. Tell them who Stitch is. Tell them why you're here tonight. Stitch, I can't hear you. Check your audio. Cannot hear you, Stitch. I'm not getting any audio. Okay, say something again. Are you using one for a computer, two for a phone? Are you using a computer or a phone? One for a computer, two for a phone. You're using a computer. Are you using a Bluetooth microphone or cord? Did you plug you have to plug it in. All right. It's definitely on your end. You might have to check your audio stitch. One second. Let's see here. All right, give me some audio. Say something.
Oh no.
Now, excellent. That's better. Yes, talk to me. Assuming that you heard me earlier, so proceed.
Yes. Yeah, good night again, brother. All the way. Ms.
Good night,
Christalyn.
my brother.
Good night, Mr.
And to the
Stitch.
listening and viewing audience, the name Gary Glenn Enriquez. Everybody know me as Stitchy or Stitch. Born and grown Dangriga. Anybody will know me and will know that I'm a person of service. I had the opportunity of migrating to the United States just about 30 years. But heart, mind, and soul had always been here, Dangriga. I think that most people, let's say 50 and below, between the ages of 22 and, or yeah, 22 and 50 would know me very well because those were the times that, or even prior to that, I was living here in Dangriga, serving in different capacity. I'm a altar boy, sell insurance, teach Boy Scouts, the Girl Guides, the cadets. Actually, I always prong on this, which I'm very proud of, being one of the original teachers of the Delil Academy, CYE, at the convent, and saw what is now Delil Academy materialize. I have always had Dangriga at heart and always wanted another capacity to serve. And I don't think that it requires being in politics to serve. That's one of my thing. I don't really like the limelight like that, but because if I could help, me could do it, and if that at the end of the day together we could do something for with community and by extension the town, then make we do it, right? Because one of the hardest thing for get sometimes the cooperation of our own people. Sometimes you have to take the bull by hand, and we see that within Dangriga, where you have once you hear football, that's certain people. Once you hear cycle, that's certain people. Once you hear boating and fishing, that's certain people. All right. And this is one of the ways for me personally. I think that in seeing what is happening in my town all these years, I confident that we know the way we're supposed to be. So what better way than to get in it and actually help make it manifest, doing my part. Because they are, this is not something easy for any individual for just one public office like that. If you're not a company heart. For me personally, I'm not necessarily interested in anything but getting Dangriga to where it's supposed to be, being the culture capital, especially, right? So I did this, like I said, joining with Team Christalyn, because I believe that for make we get back to some kind of stability, some kind of form of accountability, nothing like the touch of a woman. And I think that with my mayoral candidate, Ms. Christalyn, and the slate behind her, and ultimately the United Democratic Party, we could bring back Dangriga to the recognized capital and promote even more things. Where we could actually be the place where not only 19th we get to visitors, than only 19th money the role Dangriga, right? So I, again, standing here in front of you guys as a councillor candidate under the United Democratic Party and under the team of Team Christalyn.
Stitch, thank you very much, my friend. You shared why you're putting your name in the hat, which is fair, simple, plain and simple. You want to make a change. You want to see change in Dangriga. You want to help push this thing forward. When it comes to the politics of election, I cannot confess that I'm an expert. I'm a newbie rather, but I also know that when it comes to municipal election, you get our team together. You have a mayoral candidate, and then hopefully you have 6 councillors. These 6 councillors would be loyal to their mayoral candidate. Yes?
Would be loyal to their mayoral candidate.
Yes, this is the person that you're following. This is the person that you're backing. This is the person you're behind because you believe that this person can lead the council. Yes or no?
Oh, no, when you put it like that, yes.
Okay. For you being on that team, Christalyn, what about Christalyn pushes you to be a part of this team, to want to be a part of this team and be recognized as a counselor on the team, Christalyn?
One, Miss Christalyn has put in the work. I often, but since last year, I say I walk around with a couple of people, and I was curious. And she eventually stopped at my house. At my house, we had a conversation. She has never stopped on this trail, per se. And I think one of the things that I'm looking forward to is a leader who listens, a leader who have the same value like me with Griga in her heart and mind. And when you look around, yes, I know her from, I guess I recognize who she was later on because I've been around her father for quite some time, but these were kids when I left here, right? But one of the things that she has as far as her leadership about wanting to do, wanting that opportunity to do, and I don't think that she's influenced easily. She have a strong mind, and that's one of the things that I like. She's able to defend herself. She's able to explain. She's able to prove her. Stand her ground, right? When it comes to doing things, and that's one of the things that I like about Christalyn, and why I was glad that I was offered the opportunity, and I accepted the lead consideration, right? Because this is somebody, this is the type of leadership where you want. I never have to be Miss Christalyn. If it was another person, a male for that matter, that had that wanting to do out of the heart, I would have made jump on it.
Thank you, Stitch. Christalyn, before we go to the comments, I want to jump to the comments. Your main reason for being here tonight is because you have a plan. You want to share your plan to push Dangriga forward. Before we jump to that, let's go to the comments. And while I'm reading the comments, you might want to check up on Laurie, see if he's
Yes.
ready to join. If he's ready, I will create room for him. My brother, I saw a comment. Okay, let's see. Aaron Anderson, Stitch, what have you done to convince the community that you are a server, tangible things for Griga? I'm not sure if I'm reading that right or you have a typo. Mr. Eric Castillo, Ms. Christalyn Castillo, what's your vision about the Tourism Welcome Center now that the tongue has expanded? What is your plan? Let's pause on the comments. Feel free to answer those questions, Christalyn.
When it comes to the park, let's be and I want to choose my words. We welcome development. We welcome economic growth. We welcome anything that could bring jobs, money, tourism into Dangriga. What we as a team is a bit skeptical about is, are we just going to be the crumb eaters? Are we just going to be the people that ensure that this runs well? And when it comes time to share, the piece of the pie, who I get this and who I get that, and who get the biggest slice and who I get the most beautiful slice, are we just going to be the laborers? Or are we going to have a seat at the decision-making table? Are we going to make decisions that will impact the tongue of Dangriga? Or is it going to be people coming into Dangriga and say, okay, this is what Dangriga need? And this is so dear to my heart, because oftentimes we look at campaigning and say, oh, that cliche, we go from house to house and we ask the same question and sing the same song. But for us, Team Christalyn, it is different. We are giving back the power to who it rightfully belongs to. It belongs to the people. Without an X beside our name, none of it not today. And so going to the homes, we echo that. We want you guys to come to the polls, call to the polls. I would have vote for Team Christalyn, but even if you don't vote for Team Christalyn, come to the polls and let your voices be heard, so we are able to sit at decision-making table and make decisions for our tongue. And so when we talk about that complex, just to tie it back in, if it is going to be managed by the council, like what it is, right, that like what it is being said, and the tongue council will have a seat at decision making, a large percentage in what is going on, and we're able to empower our people, we're able to give our people jobs, we're able to grow Dangriga and it's going to flourish, then we welcome that. We're not anti-development, we're not anti-tourism, we're not anti-anything, but it must be for the people of Dangriga, and the people of Dangriga must benefit from whatever it is. How can you just come into our tongue, exploit what we have, and then we have little to no benefit or impact? That's where the problem lies. So for me, it will be good. It is good if our people are able to benefit as much as we possibly can from it.
What's your plan? I haven't heard what's your plan?
Yes. So our plan, we have a 3x3 plan where it's people first. Like I mentioned before, we must listen first and act fast. What does that mean? It means that we must not have to wait or beg or plead for the town council to provide basic needs. Oftentimes, there was a period of time, for whatever reason that is, and let it be known that we're sitting here and speaking about what hasn't been done is not us bringing down the other side, but it's to shed light on where we are and how we could move to the next level. Listening to the people of Dangriga and acting based on what we signed up for. Let's take a look at the drains that are being dug right now. If you go by Red Cross, drains they dig. After the rain, we want to free up the drains, but where are these dirt getting placed? On the side of the street. And what happened when our next hard rain come, we go right back in at the drain, right? So we're being counterproductive. And we see that happening numerous places, parts of town. Right from Mr. Stitchell's got a big pile too. But the point is, we shouldn't have to be waiting and calling and begging for the town council to provide the basic needs that should be provided. Second thing is, under people first, is every community must benefit. A couple in last week or in this week, if I stand corrected, we were in parts of Bengoche where one part of the Bengoche extension, I should say, doesn't have light, while the other extension doesn't have water, right? The plan for Dangriga is for every single community to benefit from what the town council has to offer. That means that we have equal shares in what is going on here. So people first, and that what we did tonight, we had Mr. Laurie explaining certain pointers, but since he's not here, that's why I don't want to dominate the show, right? The counselor candidates are capable of explaining what it is that we as a team is going to propose for Dangriga. But the first thing first is people first. We must listen to our people. We must act fast. A town council must listen to the people of Dangriga. The second thing is jobs and businesses. One of the biggest cries in Dangriga is people have to light fire. People have to go. The Hopkins got a Belmo pan. We see bus loads of people leaving wee hours in the morning, coming back late at night. This is something that we want to address as the town council. How can we link small businesses? And let's use small businesses as an example. And Mr. Stitch, I feel like this is your pointer that you were supposed to explain, right? But I'll just touch on it and then and then you could jump in afterwards. How can we link these small businesses with real resources? And we're not talking about reinventing the wheel, and we touched on that the last time we were here. There are procedures that are already in place to help these small businesses. We have people like Bill Trade that already craft the art to ensure that small businesses are supported. So instead of reinvent the wheel, let's partner with Bill Trade. Let's partner with the credit union, the lending institution, if that's the route that these small businesses want to go. This way, young women, youths, small business owners, entrepreneurs, they're able to not only depend on the town council, but they're able to stand firm in their business and strive. And so when Thai tourism start coming into Dangriga, which it will, it might not be this year or next year, but if the park isn't managed the way it said it should be managed, the people of Dangriga are still able to stand on their 2 feet and provide economic development for themselves and their families. So jobs and businesses are something that we're really honed in on as well, to ensure that all these small businesses that are oftentimes overlooked, the people that sell up on the street, the people where they maybe sell online in a house, or some people were just you drive down the back road and we have numerous businesses that are just trying. What are we doing to help these people ensure that they are able to stand firm and provide not only for them but for their families? And the third,
Just in the interest of time, Christalyn, let me read more of the comments, and then
okay,
I'll give you the opportunity to respond again. And Stitch, you could also
Yes.
chime in. Don Neil, I keep hearing the comment, let's bring Dangriga back. Can you both share what is meant by that? From my experience, let me expand this because I want to make sure I read all your comment, my brother. From my experience, I am hoping we don't go back. There's nothing in the past that's worth aspiring for. I'm not sure what back is, Don Neil. Maybe you could put that into context. I could only assume. Mr. Castillo, Ms. Christalyn, what's your vision about the Tourism Welcome Center? I asked that question earlier. Let's go. Narciso Shaw. Tap into the lad because of Stitch. His work speaks volumes. Thank you, my brother. Aaron Anderson, I am hearing him clear. Jerry Enriquez, we are hardly hearing Stitch. I believe we've fixed that problem. Let's go to one more comment and then I'll allow you guys to respond. I will call Laurie over WhatsApp. Let's see if he picks up since he's experiencing. Oops, I won't be able to do this.
But
so you could have Mr. Larry join when Mr. Marin join as well. We could just leave and have those two gentlemen come on.
That's sure. I wanted to set it up in such a way that because you are the one running for mayor, someone is always with you, or you're always with one counselor.
Okay.
Stitch, go ahead. You
yes.
sound like you
So
wanted to answer a question.
yeah, Mr. Neil bring up something and semantics, right? When we talk about back, I unfortunate that anyone would interpret it as, um, you know, going back in time or stuff like that. But I think we could all agree what Dangriga was like in terms of the community support, community, coming together, activities happening, clean activities happening. Currently, the situation, even in terms of discipline, um, crime, that Willie Grieger. One time, it in terms of the violence that has been increasing, I think it will be a community effort to make we get back into sports, invest more into it. Mr. Neil himself is a excellent volleyball player and tournament. We're not doing things there again, right? I don't know. I'm not even sure if the schools they have volleyball tournament, but what time apart every evening you left school, the young person left school and look forward to go by one of the football place and play. We want back. We want clean fun. We want to be able to feel that freedom there again without having to because one and two groups or so, right? They feel the fear of what of not going out there, right? Currently, as we speak, I don't hear anything from the council having these summer programs for our children, right? That one of the big hustles. Sorry, wrong word. That one of the big activity for coming on to summer for especially high school students and stuff like that. But when I talk about bring back Dangriga, we want a lot of opportunity to come up. Tourist center, the tour welcome center, as alluded by Ms. Castillo and question asked by Brother Uruwe. How we are take part in that, how we are get in that, is that with the advent of this new thing, how much are deprived access to Fui Beach? What will be how much of that going down the road in terms of right now then they're in front of Secretariat? How much farther are they going? Are they going to do any more development up towards the cemetery area? Right? So we don't want we want to move with the time.
Um,
One of the things
Stitch, again, pardon me, my brother. I want to save us a lot of time. We have folks in the comments asking the same questions, hoping to get an answer. Dangriga is not much in a unique position, but it's in a really messed up situation right now, for lack of a better word. Lack of opportunities, no jobs. We have a multi-purpose park coming up. We have development that they told us will take place at Jetty. I haven't quite, and this is me just being forthright, just being as blunt as I normally I try to be. We want to hear from Team Christalyn. We want to hear from Team Dwayne. What is your plan? We see what is around. We see the multi-purpose park. We see Jetty. We see what is happening. What is your plan to push Dangriga forward? Give me answer that in 1 minute. You and Christalyn, and then we bring on Laurie or the other individual. 1 minute. What's your plan? Let's
Okay.
start with
So,
Christalyn.
yes. So the bringing back that we're bringing Dangriga to the place where it's going to be is going to take work. Going back to the jobs and the businesses, the opportunities that we want here in Dangriga is job opportunities where families are able to provide for their children and for their families. So the jobs and the businesses that we're talking about to reinvest back into our communities, that is where we build the economic development for Dangriga. And so these are plans that we've been speaking about, and you keep asking for more, and maybe I'm not understanding the question, or you're not framing it right, but The plan for Dangriga is to bring it to the place where it needs to be, supporting small businesses. That's one of the plans, supporting small businesses, so that in turn we could reinvest back into our community. And so it's going to be a cyclical work where when we reinvest back into our communities, and we go back to Mr. Donneil's question, where we mean come back, where we had the parks and the playgrounds. Let's take, for instance, the park at the Elehobene Park. If we would emulate what Belize City has done with their park, where you see Thursday night, Friday night, it is very robust with economic activities and people are able to hang out, while others are able to make money and people are able to take care of their homes and their families, because that is what people want. That's the word on the street. We have to come out of Dangriga to find opportunity. And to a larger extent, we have to come out of Belize, right? But since we're focusing on Dangriga, this is what we want to do. When it comes to making a plan for Dangriga, the cries of the people walking on the street is that Dangriga has no opportunity. Dangriga has no safe place for my children to play. So investing in jobs and businesses and reinvesting back in our community where the children has a place to play and have a safe place to recreate is the plan of Team Christalyn. And we do that by listening to our people and acting fast on their requests.
Thank you, Christalyn. Stitch, 1 minute,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
we'll bring on Laurie. Is the other individual already, Christalyn? Who's
Yes,
coming
Mr.
on?
Marin is out already.
Okay, so real quick, Stitch, go ahead.
I think one of the thing is quality of life. Quality of life here in Dangriga. Like you said, we're not in any unique position as far as a town. But my concern, and I think we're all concerned about Griga, what we are being deprived of. Because at the end of the day, as a town council, we will have to be leaning on public-private partnership. We'll have to be leaning on central government. Right now, as we look back, especially in terms of infrastructure, street our common issue. Right now, we are suffering. We're in a dangerous position with technically one working bridge in our town. Roads help with transportation. Transportation help with development, right? And if, as far as the quality of life here in Dangriga, all of these, the whole idea about the school system and the activity, it's a conflict, because then you have all of these children's rights, and then when you try create activities outside of school, either the kids they can't go or some of them get away and they're out there later than they're supposed to. Right? So as far as the quality of life, right now we have I think we had spoken on off the record about with people, some of our family members with mental health issues in a Dangriga. They're not some of the kind of things that in terms of quality of life we want to improve on, because our collective effort, instead of have our people out there like that. And recently then they dropped them in a Griga. I'm not sure why, but they're relatively safe, and I'm glad for one that they're not violent.
Stitch, I want you and ask you and Christalyn to hang tight. I'll disconnect you. Let's add the other two, Mr. Marin and what's the other individual's name?
Mr. Laurie, Mr. Stephen Laurie.
Okay, Mr. Marin and Mr. Laurie. I thought you had what's her name? One of the other female individuals. Let's go to the comment in time. Stay on standby, Stitch and Christalyn. I will disconnect you guys from the live and bring on Laurie and Mr. Marin. So, folks, I'll go to your comments. You can continue commenting. I will read them as I bring on the other two aspiring counselors. I want to thank each and every one of you for tuning in. This is interesting. This is about Dangriga. This is about the plan, an economic plan for Dangriga. This is about moving Dangriga forward. Municipal election. Who is going to be the next mayor? Laurie, I messaged you earlier. You can join, you and Mr. Marin. Click on the link. I will bring you guys. Let's see, we have one of them already. Mr. Francis Marin. All right, let's add him. We're waiting for Mr. Laurie, Stephen Laurie. Mr. Marin, good night, my brother. How are you?
To be on your show tonight, and thank- thanks. Yeah. Can you hear me, sir?
I can hear you clear enough. Thank you for joining. Well, I take it that you were tuned in, you're listening to the show. What have you to say? Let's start by introducing yourself. Tell us why you're putting your name for councillor in this upcoming municipal election.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Can you hear me, Mr. Marin?
Cyril, getting a feedback from you, and your statements are repeating like every 2 seconds or so. Yes, I can hear you clearly, but every 2 seconds, there's a complete repeat of what you said.
Okay, so I will pause. I will say ask my question, and then I'll pause, give you a moment to respond. Briefly tell the people why you're here. Why are you putting your name up for councillor for the next 2027 municipal election? Why are you on the team Christalyn?
Okay. Thank you, Cyril, and thanks, Christalyn and Gary, for leading the show earlier tonight. It's my pleasure to be on this show and also to share.
Go ahead, Mr. Marin. Tell us why you're here. Tell us why they put your name for the ballot. Why Team Christalyn? Why the UDP?
Well, Cyril, I've been in and out of politics. Yeah. Okay. So uh, I have recognized that the UDP is going through a transformation. And with the experience that I've had over the past years, I find that I am able to contribute to that transformation.
Okay, why Team Christalyn? Why do you
Well,
believe in Christalyn's ability? What about Christalyn do you know that convinced you that she's ready and able to take on the job as Dangriga's mayor?
what- Cyril, she she approached me in a very professional manner. She asked me to for a discussion, and she explained what were her objectives in moving Dangriga forward, and it coincided with all of my professional and political values. So I was ready to jump on board simply because of the way how she approached me and presented her plan for the improvement at Dangriga.
Very good. Do you feel confident that Team Christalyn has a solid plan to push Dangriga forward? And if yes, summarize that plan for me.
Okay. First and foremost, Cyril, there is no there is nobody who get into politics with a associate's degree or a master's degree in a Dangriga politics. That doesn't exist. So everybody who has done well as a politician in Dangriga had to learn the hard way, getting onto the ground and doing the work. The every Dangriga environment change every 2 to 3 years. So it's an evolving environment. What you did 10 years ago might not work today, especially now with everybody having access to digital information. 10, 15 years ago, you could get away with certain things. Now, as soon as you do something today, the whole world, not only Dangriga, the whole world have access to it. So that is a different operational environment.
Thank you, my brother. Laurie, we're still waiting. We're waiting for Laurie to sign on. Let's do this. Since Laurie, respond to my message on WhatsApp. Let me know that you're signing on. If not, we'll bring on Christalyn and we will try to wrap it up. Mr. Marin, I'll go to the comments and I'll allow you to answer some of the comments. And then we will proceed with either Laurie, if Laurie joins us. If not, I'll ask Christalyn to come back on. Let's go to the comments here. Don Neil, plan and aspiration without resources is just a dream. How will this team go about accomplishing what you're claiming is lacking? That's a good question. Fair question. Aaron Anderson, I think in Uruguay, no one uno answer. Aaron, behave yourself, Browy. Gloria Sabal, Dangriga has a large percent of non-taxpayer. Very, very true. This is something that I hear a lot. What is the plan to get these monies owing? My goodness, Gloria, thank you for that question. This is a question I would really love for this question to be answered. Let's proceed. Mr. Gilbert Wade Sr., who's in charge for the park in front of the sea? Good question. Don Neil, there is no tangible development that I can point out of the past. Let's strive to catch up with the today's development. Yes. Wow. I'm not sure what that is about. Dangriga need a new cemetery. What is your plan to address this need? Man, there's so much. Christalyn, sign back on. I know they here for Laurie, so we will just have you sign back on and try to end this program pretty soon after we chop it up with you. So I'll wait for you. As soon as I see you sign on in the waiting area, I will add you and we shall proceed. Mr. Marin, you heard some of the questions. I'll just let you be free. Give it a shot. Which one are they you want to answer? We have park issue. We have development issue. We have plan and exploration without resources is just a dream. How will this team go about accomplishing what you're claiming is lacking? Give it a shot, Mr. Marin.
Okay, thank you, Cyril. I look at that multi-purpose park in front of Sacred Heart there as a multi-million-dollar treasure trove. That, that there are a few things that nobody can remove from the Dangriga environment. Number one, the people, the cultural richness that Dangriga has. Nobody can replicate that in any other part of the world. Then there is the other natural resources. About a few miles away from the second largest barrier reef in the world. There is nobody that can remove that from the Dangriga environment. So the people and the natural resources is a serious combination. And then the access to other resources. For example, Dangriga is like central south. So you can go to PG quite easily. You could go to Kayo quite easily. And if you're interested to go up north, you could reach there quite comfortably as well. So Dangriga is strategically located. Now it's left to the Dangriga people to capitalize on those natural resources and maximize, because there is absolutely no competition when it comes to the Garifuna culture. There's no other community that can compete with Dangriga when it comes to the richness of the culture. That is why we are called the culture capital.
Mr. Marin, um, I say many a times we are in a serious situation here in Dangriga. We have no leadership. I see no real leadership. I wish Christalyn would sign on. The room is open. I don't see you. If you like, I could call you via WhatsApp and then you could respond just by audio call. Just confirm. Dangriga is in a dire situation. Now is the time for us to stop play politics. Now is the time for us to be that this coming election, our vote should not be a vote for the PUP. Our vote should not be a vote for the UDP. Our vote should be a vote for Dangriga. I don't, I will call Christalyn directly. She has agreed to do audio only because for some reason I cannot, she's not, she's having trouble signing on again. So here we go. Christalyn, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Folks, give me some thumbs up. Tell me yes, we can hear Christalyn, so we could proceed with the last couple of questions for tonight's episode, and then we sign off. Christalyn, give me feedback. Give me some audio feedback.
I can hear you well.
Okay, good. Now, Christalyn, I have to say, I have expressed my sentiments openly on social media as to how I feel about the different candidates, including yourself. Tonight, there are more questions to be answered. But first, or last rather, I want to focus on your team. And I want to also focus on addressing just a little bit about Team Dwayne as well. Now, let me know you're still there, Christalyn.
I'm here.
Good. Now, I was hopeful that Laurie would join as well. We have received from very reliable source, people in your camp in the administrative level, saying that there are certain members of your slate, certain members that were not approved to run as councillor. Is that true? Is Stephen Laurie approved to run as a councillor for the mayoral election?
Mr. Laurie is still waiting for a response from the leadership team. And so because of that, we are not able to say yes or no to that question. And whatever information is floating around on the media or however it is going around, it is, as far as the Christalyn is concerned, it is not official. It hasn't come from any entity of that we could trust. So until we get credible sources about the information flying around, we are still in the waiting season.
I understand each applicant received a letter telling them whether or not they were approved. Is that true or false?
Well, if each applicant would have received a letter, then Mr. Laurie would have already received one. So based on that alone, I could say no, everybody did not get a letter.
Okay, so everybody did not get a letter. All right, so finally, let me once more go to the comments and then we will wrap it up. Let me see. Aaron Anderson, you stop. Okay, let me read your question, my brother, cause I don't want to get in a trouble with you tonight, Aaron. I thought Mr. Laurie as exceptional as he is, was not accepted as a candidate. We're hearing this again. Mr. Laurie was not accepted as a candidate. That would be rather unfortunate. Sorry, go ahead. Did you say something?
No, if you're talking to me, no, I didn't say anything.
Okay, sure. So it is, I hope that what has reached my desk is fallacious. I must say I doubt that it is, but I hope, given Laurie's track record, given his contributions to this town, now Laurie has publicly expressed some of his struggles in the long past, in the history of his life, of substance abuse, but the man has been clean for a long time. He has been a very industrious citizen, resident of this town. He has been involved in sports, helping these youths. He has been in Wanaragua, the man cut yard. He has been putting in the work. So I am saying this to say I am not a part of the United Democratic Party, but I hope that if this is true, that the UDP will have a good reason why they will not allow Mr. Laurie to run as a councillor under your slip. Now, I want to wrap up by just driving home that one, I can't say that I'm satisfied with our response regarding your plan, Team Christalyn's plan for Dangriga. I hope that you guys could come back again. I hope that I get to talk with Team Dwayne again and see how you guys are doing. Before we leave, what is your projections when it comes to the upcoming convention between you and Dwayne Din Sampson? Christalyn?
Sorry, you're coming in and out. Can you repeat the question that you asked?
What are your projections for the upcoming convention between yourself and Dwayne Sampson? When is that scheduled for? And what are your expectations? What are your projections?
So the date has not yet been released. We're still waiting. That's a decision Dangriga's town or executives cannot make on our own. We must await the decision from the higher up. And until that date is released, we're going to continue doing what we have been doing, strategizing, meeting the people, hearing their concerns. And I'm pretty sure that the convention will be sooner than later. So it's the transfer period, transferring those people who are living in Dangriga but voting are living in Dangriga, but their vote is elsewhere, the young people, we find that one second, please, I'm on the phone. We find that there's a lot of young people who are disenfranchised with the political arena and getting them to register, not only for Team Christalyn, but so that we could go to the polls come March 3rd and say Dangriga voting percentage has risen and we are able to stand on what decision we want to make and we are able to go and say, listen, this is what we want. So we were on what the other team is doing and what they're not doing, and we're more focusing on executing our plans, and that means being on the streets every day, whether it's 2 hours, 4 hours, talking to the people, getting their names and numbers, organizing our team. So when that day comes, it's not, oh my goodness, what should we do? But we have a plan and it's time to execute.
Christalyn, what do you see when you hear the word Dangriga today? What do you see? And what image comes to your mind of a Dangriga with with you sitting in the mayor's office as the mayor of Dangriga? Give me one word for Dangriga right now, and one word if you should ever be or become the mayor of Dangriga. What do you see?
Right now, the word I would choose for Dangriga is resilient. We are resilient. And the word for when I'm sitting in that mayor's seat is reform, because we are going to reach where we should be in Dangriga.
Mr. Marin, any last words?
Yes, Cyril. I want to encourage the voters in Dangriga to participate in the system. Don't sit down home. We have had Dangriga has had a record of very low voter turnout, and that is unfortunate. And so my plea to the Dangriga voter is for them to come out and cast their vote.
Thank you, my brother. Your last words, Christalyn.
For me, I truly want to thank the voters of Dangriga. I want to thank those who, when we knock on your doors, and even if you're not pleased with the political system and the political arena, you're still willing and able to lend us your listening ears. Some of you guys, I can see the frustration because it's too much party politics and we're losing hope. I want to say thank you for still allowing us the opportunity to listen. I want to thank those who are standing firm behind me. Whenever there are emotional tides that I ride high or low, that my support team is there for me. I want to thank, of course, the Lord Almighty. I do believe that there is a God, and I do believe that He's guiding my steps every single way. And with all these roles put together, forming a coalition, I know that whatever it is that I am setting out to do, I will accomplish, and that in the end, it will work out for the better. So thank you, Uruwe, for having me on your show. And you keep repeating that even though you are so clear on where you stand, I do believe every single person have a right to choose, and your choice shouldn't be a reason why I don't want to associate with you or your show. It's a democratic process. We have a right to choose who we want to support. And if you don't want to support me, and this goes to any and every single person, be it UDP or PUP, be it near or far to me, every single person have a choice. And if your choice is not Christalyn Castillo, that is okay. This is why we live in a democratic land, we live in a free land, because we're able to choose. And that's the beauty about it. When we don't, we hug up, we kiss up, and we see what's best for Dangriga and move forward.
Christalyn, thank you very much. Mr. Marin, I appreciate you, my brother. Thank you. Friends, family, folks, all of you tuned in tonight. Bandi Sereme, thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for, hanging out with Cyril Uruwe for the past 2 hours and almost half, 2 hours and a half. Make I go to the comments one last time before I sign off. Christalyn, thank you. I'm ending the call. One more time in case. Mr. Eric Castillo, no selling of votes. I agree, my brother. Aaron Ayo. Eric, I have confidence in Mr. Laurie's judgment that some of the present politicians. Aaron Anderson, did everyone in Team Christalyn household transfer their vote back to Griga already? Oh, yeah, I don't. Too late to answer that question. I think if Mr. Laurie is not accepted, I won't vote at all. That's Lee Martinez. Don Neal, is Mr. Marin tuned into the same program as I am? His responses not much the question. This team don't know each other. All right. I want to thank each and every one of you who signed on tonight. It takes great courage to engage, to do this type of work. It really takes great courage to put your name on the ballot. That's not an easy thing. So, as much as I ask the questions that most of you might ask out there. I say the things that some of you might not want to say because we are to be challenged. I believe if we will put our names on the ballot, if anybody expect to earn my vote and earn my trust, earn my confidence in them, they have to prove themselves. I want you to comment. How was tonight's show? Was it beneficial? What do you think about Team Christalyn? What do you think about the first segment, this situation with Brother Doze and his son Isaac? There's a lot. There's a lot happening in our country. I hope that moving forward, each and every one of you will take the time out to educate yourselves, know what's happening in your country, know what's happening in your town. This is Cyril Uruwe. It's been a pleasure. I come on live every Wednesday at 8 p.m. for Dangriga Unmuted. I have a new impromptu show. I say impromptu because it's on schedule. It's just the spur at the moment when something crucial of high importance happen. I will come on live. I will also give some of you the opportunity to join me if you want to join me live, show on a face, let your voices be heard. Until we see each other again, I will see you on Wednesday next week. Next week, I have on Jerry Enriquez. He will be in studio live. Family, friends, BT Guyong, have a blessed rest of your night, and I'll see you again soon, very, very soon. Aba Iseme. Inebese. Respect.
Tonight in Dangriga, a wave of voter dissatisfaction is hitting local and national leaders alike. Mayor Robert Mariano, ERA Representative Dr. Louis Zabane, and even Prime Minister John Briceño. A new survey by pollster and retired assistant professor Dr. Philip Castillo shows support for Dr. Zabane has plunged dramatically. Remember, he won big in 2020 with 61% of the vote, and his popularity soared even higher in 2025 when he secured 76.5%. But Dr. Castillo's latest polling tells a very different story, one that suggests confidence in these leaders is slipping fast.
He's underwater because I think he's at 41%, which means that more, at 41%, 4 out of every 10 voters do not approve of the job that he's doing. Now, again, we did not ask them why, but some voters, some citizens did provide an opinion. And then the opinion would be that in terms of accessing the area rep, that there seem to be challenges in accessing him, basically, in meeting him and those and that specific issue.
A closer look at the numbers shows Dr. Zabani lost support in Dangriga Town and Saraway, but he's still strong in outlying villages like Hope Creek. Responding to the poll, Dr. Zabani says he welcomes Dr. Castillo's work, but argues that data collected closer to election time gives a truer read on how voters will actually decide.
First of all, the size of the poll is relatively small, but still helpful, so I'm not knocking it in that sense. I'm just saying that if you look at the last polls that he has done, you could go back and check them out. They have been consistently lower than the actual performance. So in my view, I don't believe that the numbers are that low. But even if they were, it is good to know so that you can take action.
One of the things that people were saying is that you're hard to access.
Yes, and that's the one that seems farthest from the truth. I am one of the very consistent area representatives that have office hours. So on Thursdays, like for example tomorrow, I have my office. I am at the office. I have an office that is open from Monday to Friday, so persons can go, and they do go in. So besides the office hours on the Thursdays, I also visit on Saturdays because we have Dangriga, Saraway, and Hope Creek.
Voters were also asked how they feel about the job Dangriga Mayor Mariano is doing. He first won the mayoral seat with 51% of the vote in 2021 and boosted his support to 63% in 2024. But today his approval shows a slight dip from where he started back in 2021.
He faces election next year, 2027. So what the poll found this year is that he's back around, I think it's 48.9% or just about 50%. So he's in that range. But then a poll has something called a margin of error, meaning that the 48% could be as high as 48 plus 6, because I think the margin of error was 6.8%, or 48 minus 6. And then again, if you look carefully at the numbers, 17% did not have an opinion. They said not sure or they're uncertain.
Voters also pointed to some persistent concerns in the municipality. They want better streets, improved garbage collection, and real action on unemployment, which many say remain a consistent challenge. When we reached out to Mayor Mariano for a response, he told us, quote, "I am appreciative of Dr. Philip Castillo, and although the next town council elections are a little over a year away, and notwithstanding a lot of change within that time, I am humbled by the favorable poll survey and results at this point in time. We are grateful for the public opinion and will do whatever we can to address their concerns." But the most striking number in this poll is the Prime Minister's approval rating in Dangriga. When voters were asked whether they approve of the job Prime Minister John Briceño is doing, just over half said they do not.
I think it's only 20%. That's 1 in every 5 voters approve of the job that the Prime Minister is doing as Prime Minister. A similar percentage